Dispute resolution. The United States court system is a very busy and complicated system. It is filled with many specific procedures, and people sometimes abuse that power. So, many people have turned to dispute resolutions, such as mediations, to try and dissolve disputes outside of the courtroom. While some people are against it, I think that it's a good thing. People are against it because they think that the judge should be making decisions, considering that's how the judicial system is ran, and that's how it began years ago. Others believe that it has taken money away from the court systems, and that the decisions should be decided in court, and that people should have to pay for these judges to make the decisions for them. But I do agree with dispute resolution. The dispute resolution system gives people the control they want in whatever court orders they need. When you go to an attorney's office, they hear what you need and they kind of type it into what they think you need. It doesn't always come out the way that you want it to come out. So when a judge looks at the order, he can agree on parts of it and he can disagree with parts of it. He can rule for parts of it and rule against parts of it. So you might not get everything you want. You might only get half of it, or you might get some things that you didn't want. The judge pretty much just bases his decision on what he thinks is best. In other instances, even though they shouldn't, judges sometimes come into the courtroom having a bad day or upset about something, and they won't listen to you effectively and attentively to know exactly what you're wanting and where you're coming from. Sometimes they also come in and they just rule against you because they're in a bad mood. They've got something else going on, so they just rule against you, and there's no really rhyme or reason for it, but all you know is you lost and can't do anything about it. Dispute resolution limits costs for parties. When you're with an attorney and you go in, they're going to charge you for every phone call, every email, every time they speak to you, every time that you come in the office, they're going to charge you for it. So when you keep coming in because you and the opposing party keep disagreeing on it, they're going to keep charging you and keep charging you. Your bill's going to run up. So a lot of people turn to mediation. It's a one-time charge. You're in mediation for a couple hours to, a full day you could be in there. You speak to a mediator. You get everything compromised, and you leave. It limits the cost. It's kind of just a one-time cost, and it makes your bill go down. A lot of people also like it because it's easier, it's more effective, it's less time consuming too. They don't have to keep coming into the office and keep repeating themselves on what they want. It's just a one-day thing. They meet with a compromise, and then they go on with their business. A lot more people feel in control of their case instead of the attorney or judge being in control. As I kind of touched on earlier, some attorneys will just kind of ignore you on some things if they don't think that that's the best, or they don't think the judge will give it to you. They might just not even put it in the order, and you really can't do anything about it considering that you hired them to do it, and they're really going to do it regardless. Of course, most court documents you have to sign off on, but when your attorney sometimes refuses to put anything in there that you want because they don't think you're going to get it, you can't really do anything about that. But resolutions definitely give the clients a chance to be heard and to reach their goals. You're meeting with a mediator who really just wants to know what you need and what you want out of that case, and he or she will do their best to make sure that both parties get exactly what they want. A lot of judges also, when they read the order, and they might think, oh, well, this is what's going to be best, and they don't know everything about the situation. They don't know the kids' ages. They don't know all the disputes. So they'll just decide for themselves instead of researching a little more and know where they're coming from. They just decide that they're going to tell what orders they're for and what orders they're going to rule against, and they don't always take what really needs to be done into consideration. In some smaller counties, like around here, richer or more well-known or well-liked people will weigh in the outcome. If you get in a courtroom and you're going up against somebody who gives a lot of money to the county or is really good friends with the judge or something, they'll normally win, because you see a lot of cases like that. These judges and these attorneys don't want to step on their toes because they're afraid that they might pull their support out of their county, and it might affect them in any elections that are coming up. So sometimes that can definitely be a problem. When you're in mediation, you normally don't have that problem. It's for the better of the two parties. Clients definitely feel that mediation, it doesn't depend on money. It doesn't depend on your status in the county. All it depends on is what the people want and how they're going to reach that. Parties can also maintain relationships on good terms. When you keep going into the courtroom and arguing, people, I've seen it, I work in a law office, people will sometimes start, just going at each other just to do it, not because they think that that's what they need and that's what they want or that's what they think is going to be best. They just kind of do it out of just pure adult hatred. They just want to get back at this person for taking them to court again. So they'll go after, some people will go after the opposing party for, anything that they can get their hands on. So when you keep going and you keep going in, it really just demolishes any type of relationship that was there. And a lot of times when it's children that are being disputed over and visiting hours and everything, it can tear these parents' relationship apart where they might not speak for the rest of their children's life, and it definitely puts a lot of stress on the child or the children in that circumstance. It can also be any loved one, not just a child. If it's a probate, if it's anything like that, it can definitely demolish any relationships there. When people are in mediations, they can calmly come to a point of, of understanding, and they can both get together and come to a middle ground. And they can definitely try to, keep whatever little relationship is there and build on it for the future. With these 5 reasons and many more, I would hope that others would agree that dispute resolutions are very beneficial to the judicial system and to people in general. Many factors go into settling disputes, but if mediations and other resolutions are used, people can achieve what they want and still maintain a healthy relationship for the sake of their loved ones. Joseph Greinbaum once said, "An ounce of mediation is worth a pound of arbitration and a ton of litigation." This quote can honestly not say it any better. If people would turn to mediation before long, drawn-out trials, settlements would be reached faster and easier lessening the burden on parties, attorneys, and judges. Dispute resolutions are a very, very beneficial way or alternative from fighting in the courtroom. It takes a lot of stress off of everybody involved in the process, and it seems to be more effective than arguing in the courtroom.